The Patriots arrived in Minnesota carrying more than just their gear. They brought a week's worth of questions about their offense, their quarterback, and whether the progress in camp would hold up against real heat. For Drake Maye, this was the kind of proving ground that could swing momentum for the rest of August. Every rep mattered, because each one was a chance to show this team could stand in against the NFL's most relentless looks. From the first snap, the Patriots' offense was under pressure, and that's exactly what they came for. The challenge was to stay sharp while everything around them moved faster than it had all summer. Maye had to find answers in tight pockets, trust his reads, and keep the ball in the hands of his playmakers. It wasn't about piling up easy gains, it was about showing this group could keep its structure and make plays when the pressure was real. That's why this week carries weight. New England isn't here for style points or headlines, they're here to build a unit that can handle anything thrown at it in the fall. If the offense can execute under these conditions, it proves the growth in camp is real. The real story now shifts to the line of scrimmage, where the next battle could decide just how far this offense can go. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Patriots and all the NFL content. Let's see if we can get 300 likes on this video. The Patriots offense faced a practice that tested every layer of their preparation. Nothing about the looks they saw stayed the same once the ball was snapped. What seemed like a clean read quickly turned into a collapsing pocket or a disguised coverage, forcing Drake Maye and his offense to adjust on the fly. For New England, it wasn't about the name of the opponent, it was about handling a constant stream of pressure without losing their shape. The challenge pushed the Patriots' timing, communication, and trust. Routes had to hit exactly when they were supposed to, because the pocket wasn't going to last long. Maye had to get the ball out before the rush closed in, which meant receivers needed to be where he expected every time. This was as much a test for the linemen, backs, and tight ends as it was for the quarterback, because one missed pickup or late recognition could turn a good call into a busted play. That is why the next step is so critical. Before the snap, New England's protection has to be ready for any picture they see. Whether the rush brings extra bodies or drops into coverage, the answers have to be built in. The success of the offense starts with the 5 up front, and how they handle those assignments will shape every drive. That's where the focus turns now to the unique way this Patriots line is built and the rare challenge they're taking on together. The Patriots are trying something the league almost never asks for: 2 rookies on the left side at the same time. Will Campbell at left tackle and Jared Wilson at left guard are walking into a job that last showed up in 2016 with the Ravens, when Ronnie Stanley and Alex Lewis started together and Joe Flacco took 33 sacks. That is not a scare line. It is the reminder that growing pains are real when youth carries premium spots, and every snap becomes a lesson you pay for in live fire. Now look at the moving pieces around them. Michael Onwenu is the steady anchor, Morgan Moses has been managed to keep him fresh, and Josh McDaniels is installing a system that asks the line to communicate fast and think together. Wilson is learning left guard after a year at center in college, Caden Wallace is learning life inside, Cole Strange is working on the right, Marcus Bryant is the swing reserve, Vidarian Lowe is getting back to speed, and Ben Brown is battling for trust. There is a bright note to build on. Campbell posted a PFF opener at 85.4, and that shows the talent is there if the calls and combos hit on time. Here is where the pressure rises. The next test does not wait for comfort. Protection rules have to snap into place when the picture changes, and one late pass-off can flip a series. The very first joint work in Minnesota threw them into that exact storm, and it exposed where the timing must sharpen. Keep that in mind, because the practice format they face next turned every rep into a puzzle, and that shift is where our focus goes now. The Patriots stepped into a practice plan that stacked the odds against the offense from the very first period. The field flipped to second and long over and over, which forces you to grab 6 or 7 yards just to breathe again. That design turns every snap into a decision under pressure, and it exposes timing, communication, and trust before the route even breaks. Nothing about this format was friendly, and that was the point. The heat arrived fast. Reporters on the field counted a surge of pressure that produced 3 straight sacks in one stretch and 6 overall early, the kind of rush that can shake rhythm if the rules are not sharp. Sloppy moments, added weight, 2 holds, and 1 unsportsmanlike after a Mac Hollins touchdown celebration, plus an earlier delay of game this week that drew a hard response from the staff. Put it together and you get a day where the margin for error was tiny, and the cost of a late call or a missed handoff on a stunt showed up right away. Now the question that matters: when the picture keeps changing and the yardage is tilted against you, can your quarterback still find answers? Drake Maye had to prove it in real time, with quick reads and throws that cut through the noise. What he did next shifts the story from damage control to growth, and that response is where we are going to discuss next. The New England Patriots saw their rookie quarterback get squeezed early, then answer with poise that nobody expected. Pressure kept flashing, reads had to happen in a breath, and the window for a clean throw felt tight. But here is the twist that changes the tone. Drake Maye did not chase plays, he stacked solutions. Each snap felt like a fresh test, and he kept finding ways to keep the drive alive. Reports from the field landed in the same range. 13 of 21 on one sheet, 16 of 25 on another, which tells you the volume was real. The throws carried weight. A 50-yard shot to Mac Hollins, a 70-yard catch and run to Trevion Henderson with about 60 after the catch, a layered ball around 25 to Demario Pop Douglas, and another near 30 to Kayshon Boutte. There was one dropped interception in teamwork, but the key detail is bigger than that single play. He did not compound mistakes, he kept his eyes calm, and he redirected the offense when the pocket squeezed. Now the question turns to the people catching and carrying the ball. If Maye can keep this rhythm, which targets rise with him? Stephon Diggs is flashing separation, Pop Douglas keeps showing timing, and Henderson just put real speed on tape while Ramondre Stevenson manages his return. The next step is simple and tense at the same time. Who earned more trust after this day? And how will the rotation shift when the reps get even tougher? The New England defense flipped the script and squeezed Minnesota from the first competitive snap. Pockets closed fast, and quarterbacks had to hurry throws that were not ready. Names kept popping in the backfield. Clavon Chason with burst around the edge. Milton Williams with inside push. Harold Landry and Keon White closing from different angles. Reports counted at least 7 sacks, and Marcus Jones added a clean takeaway that cut a drive short. It was not loud talk, it was repeated results. That surge mattered for more than a headline. Front 7 depth showed real layers. Power shows up with Christian Barmore, while role players like Jeremiah Farms and Anthony Jennings keep winning effort snaps. In the run game, Christian Ellis and Kiris Tonga met plays early and kept the sticks behind schedule. On the perimeter, Carlton Davis stacked another active day and said he expects to be ready for Week 1, while Christian Gonzalez continues on his own plan. If those corners lock in while the rush keeps landing, route timing for most opponents will shrink in a hurry. The next practice will answer the questions that hung in the air after day 1. Can the offensive line pass off stunts the same way they did before Drake Maye dropped that 70-yard score to Trevion Henderson? Will protection calls hold up when Brian Flores dials between full pressure and heavy coverage? Can the receivers keep stacking separation when the Vikings tighten their coverage plan? Every answer will shape how the Patriots look when preseason shifts toward real game prep. This is also the stretch where discipline has to match effort. Penalties, late snaps, and emotional slips like the Mac Hollins punt celebration can erase good work in a moment. Henderson's rise in the backfield adds another layer. If he keeps winning in pass pro and creating explosive gains, the staff will face a real decision on whether to open the season with a rookie taking primary touches over Ramondre Stevenson. Every rep now is a chance to lock in roles before the games count. So here is where you come in. If you were setting the plan for tomorrow, would you put the focus on tightening protection, sharpening receiver spacing, or building more touches for Henderson? And after watching this defense push Minnesota around, do you believe this group is already playing at a top 10 level, or do they still need to prove it over time? Drop your thoughts, because the next practice could tell us if this was a flash or the start of something lasting.